Happy 22nd day of May, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz. It is Friday. We're on the cusp of, for what we will, for many people anyway, a 3-day weekend. Memorial Day is as early as it can be. Can't get any earlier than May 25th, so it is the Memorial Day weekend. So we won't be here Monday. First Monday off for myself and Mac, and we were trying to figure that out earlier. We don't know how long it's been since we had a Monday off. For me, I think it was back in February. It's been a while. 3-day weekend almost here. And it's looking pretty good all the way through Sunday afternoon. We've talked about this before. Monday, things are going to change quite a bit. In fact, that big ridge of high pressure is already starting to shift a little bit. We're at the very edge of it. It's still out in the Pacific Ocean. It's going to actually go farther out towards Hawaii. But it's going to take its sweet time doing it. So we're in for some nice weather. It's another beautiful Friday morning. Another beautiful morning period. We've had a lot of gorgeous mornings lately. Forecast details, very important because a lot of people like to be out and about. On Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial start of summers. We'll have that forecast. We'll have the news. We'll have the sports. It is a big weekend for a lot of local high school athletes and teams as they try to work their way farther up towards the state championship. Some state championships will be decided this weekend, including fast pitch softball, tennis, and a few others, and then soccer, baseball, and a couple of others will be next weekend as well. All of that coming up. And the Insurance Commissioner for the state of Washington, Patty Kuderer, was in town earlier in the week. She sat down with her news director, Rick Boone, to talk about some of the challenges that homeowners here have in north central Washington getting insurance, because we live in a wildfire area and a lot of insurance companies are a little leery of insuring you and your property. We'll talk about that. Rick and that interview with Patty Kuderer coming up at the back half of the program. Tour time, here we go. I'm kind of excited because I'm looking forward to a 3-day weekend. I'm not going to be sticking around the office very long today, people. Quick heads up there. There's the Wenatchee Heights camera outside of a few high clouds. That's about it. Sun came up at 5:16 this morning. Sun will go down at 8:40. That's 15 hours and 24 minutes of daylight. It's 77, by the way. Yesterday will be just about 80 or 81 today. And it looks like there's a spider web on that camera. Somebody take care of that. The monitor camera looking at Monitor. And off to Cashmere, you can see Stein Hill there, but beautiful view of Monitor. You can see construction continues on the Monitor Hilton, which is a very exciting 27-story tall Monitor Hilton. I'm making that up, but a beautiful view there, and the snow continues to recede up in the mountains. Two rivers, haven't used this one in a long time. The Wenatchee River on one side, the Wenatchee River, the Little Wenatchee on one side, the White River on the other, and together they form, along with all the little tributaries and streams and creeks and brooks, Lake Wenatchee, which then of course forms the Wenatchee River. This concludes your geography lesson for the day today, and let's head on up to Billy Goat. And there she is, high clouds up there. It is 51 in Omak, 55 here in the big city. We are the warm spot right now for our viewing area. The coolest spot is Moses Lake and Manson. They're both at 46 degrees on this Friday morning. It is going to be windy on Saturday and Saturday night. Saturday, most of the day is not going to be too bad. It'll just be breezy here in the Wenatchee Valley, but we get 4:35-ish or so on Saturday afternoon through Saturday night. The winds are going to pick up. Relative humidity is going to be very low, so there is some fire concerns, and of course, with a lot of people outdoors, things could get a little hairy. It's going to be a little windier in some locations than others. We're not going to be too bad here in the valley anyway, but other locations a little on the dicey side, so we're keeping a close eye on that. And believe it or not, if you're heading up into the high country to do some camping, and we're talking 5,000 feet or more, you could actually get a little bit of light snow on Monday night to Wednesday morning, as Memorial Day is actually going to be a tad unsettled for most people. But again, if you're heading up to the into the backcountry, and I mean, you got to get up there, pretty thin air. Be prepared. A lot of people like to camp way out in boonies, but use a little common sense and you'll be fine, I hope. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, it's where comfort, care, and community come together. Few high clouds, that's about it. Dry, pleasant, nothing wrong with 81 degrees. We'll take that for the afternoon high, 57 for the overnight low tonight. Mostly sunny Saturday, as I mentioned before, late in the day into Saturday night. The winds will be picking up. We're talking the occasional gust at 20 to 25 miles an hour on Saturday afternoon, gusts at 30 on Saturday night. And by the time we get to Sunday, that ridge of high pressure will all be gone by Sunday afternoon. It's still going to be nice, lots of sunshine, and a high of about 80 on Sunday. But then the clouds roll in Sunday night, probably while you're sleeping. On Memorial Day, we could even get some rain, especially on Monday afternoon. There is some rain in the forecast. And look how much cooler we're going to get. High of 72 to wrap up the 3-day weekend. We're back at it on Tuesday with temperatures slightly below normal under mostly sunny skies. But no complaints at all for a Memorial Day weekend. Thank you, Mother Nature. We'll take it. We're also going to take a break and come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Friday edition on the NCWLIFE channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
Vape companies market vaping as a de-stressor, but nicotine can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. 90% of those who quit felt less stressed, anxious, or depressed. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
Beautiful morning, 55 degrees here in the valley. We'll be about 81 today and just about that on Saturday. A little windy on Saturday afternoon and Saturday night. A beautiful Sunday. Things start changing Sunday night into Memorial Day Monday, but a nice weekend coming our way. 8 minutes after the hour, federal prosecutors have charged a former CEO of Columbia Valley Community Health with a huge embezzlement scheme from that healthcare payment company that he went on to lead after he left Columbia Valley Community Health. Our own Jefferson Robbins has been on this story, and he filed this report.
That's right, Grant. A trusted local CEO who operated out of this building here on Mission Street is accused of stealing millions of dollars from the firm that employed him. Federal officials say that could affect not only this company, but all of the nonprofit medical clinics that use the payment system. Patrick Bucknam was the top executive at the nonprofit Columbia Valley Community Health in Wenatchee from 2010 to 2016. After leaving CVCH, he became CEO for Community Clinic Network, a firm that manages payment contracts for a conglomerate of Washington nonprofit health clinics, including CVCH. Now the U.S. Department of Justice says Bucknam used the funding that ran through the Community Clinic Network to carry out risky stock trades for his own enrichment, stealing about $30.3 million between 2017 and 2023. Aside from stock trading, court records allege that Bucknam also used CCN money to buy a $33,000 speedboat, a $77,000 Tesla sedan, a $100,000 Chevy SUV, and $1.2 million worth of gold coins. Amid all this, U.S. attorneys say Bucknam transferred about $7.3 million back into CCN's accounts, adding up to a net loss of about $23 million to the company. Prosecutors say by 2019, Bucknam knew the losses were unsustainable but continued to make risky trades, hoping to cover the funds. He resigned from Community Clinic Network last October, allegedly admitting his embezzlement to the company's board. Now, there was no response today to a request for comment from Community Clinic Network or from Mr. Bucknam's attorneys who represent him in federal court. Right now, the dockets say he's supposed to enter a plea in this case on June 24th.
Thank you, Jefferson. Chelan County residents affected by last December's floods and windstorms, you have one more day to make an in-person request for a short-term disaster loan. The Federal Emergency Management Agency will operate its temporary office in Leavenworth only through today. The FEMA Pop-Up Center has been operating since May 11th at the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce building on Highway 2. If you missed today's in-person window, you still have until June 10th to apply online or by phone. So far, FEMA has distributed $6.5 million in individual assistance to 715 households in our state. The assistance can help pay for temporary housing, displacement, home repair costs, personal property loss, and other disaster-related expenses. Well, the resolution of a 40-year-old murder case here in Wenatchee has led a Canadian social service agency to make a change to one of its centers. The Henry Leland House is a supportive housing unit in Kamloops, named after a homeless Indigenous resident who died on the street from exposure back in 2007. Well, last week, of course, Wenatchee police determined through genetic evidence that Henry Leland was the man who killed 35-year-old Carol A. Trakoff in Wenatchee back in 1986. That revelation led ASK Wellness, that's the Kamloops agency that manages the Henry Leland House, to take his name off the building and has begun the process of renaming it. The $4.5 million shelter has beds for 28 clients. In an interview with Kamloops Media, the director of ASK Wellness said striking Leland's name from the building is the right thing to do. The City of East Wenatchee City Council on Tuesday approved a notice of intent to annex nearly 30 acres of Douglas County into the city. That includes portions of Highline Drive, Rock Island Road, and Highway 28. Residents who own at least 60% of the assessed value in the proposed annexation area have agreed to become part of the city. The latest annexation will only add 22 residents to the city's population. It will provide about $33,000 in property tax. The city and the county will share an estimated $885,000 to $955,000 in sales tax generated from the annexed area over a 5-year period. The Douglas County Boundary Review Board has to consider the annexation before it receives a vote from the City Council. Wenatchee Valley Fire Chief Brian Brett has been named Washington's Fire Chief of the Year. The Washington State Fire Chiefs presented Brett with the Dan Parker Fire Chief of the Year Award. This happened Wednesday night at their annual banquet. The award recognizes outstanding leadership, dedication to the fire service, and commitment to the communities firefighters serve. According to the department, Brett was nominated multiple times by his peers for that honor. Department officials say Brett has focused on professional excellence, regional collaboration, and improving fire and emergency services across Washington State. Brett said he was both grateful and humbled to receive the recognition. He retires from the chief's office next month. And students at Manson Elementary School will see a new principal when they return to class come autumn. The Manson School District announced yesterday that Anita Johansson was hired as the next elementary principal. Johansson is currently a science and leadership teacher at Manson Middle School, joined the district back in 2018. She previously worked in Pateros as a federal and state programs director, and she also taught in the Cascade School District. District leaders say Johansson has been heavily involved in strategic planning efforts and student leadership programs across the district. That's a brief look at what's making news on this Friday. Everybody around here is going to have a 3-day weekend for the most part. Most importantly, I get one, but they still have news to do. So start your Memorial Day weekend with finding out what's going on around here. It's called the NCWLIFE Evening News, 5, 6, and 10 on YouTube right around 5 o'clock. And if you got a news tip, we'd love to hear from you. News at NCWLIFE.com. It's going to be a busy weekend in sports for a lot of local high school athletes. That's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Almost 17 minutes after the hour of sports, the Mariners are in Kansas City. First of a 3-game set against the slumping Royals. The Royals have lost 9 out of their last 10. We'd like that. They are 13-13 at home. Kansas City is. The Mariners are 10-12 on the road. This is their 4th meeting. The Royals swept a 3-game series at T-Mobile Park. You might remember that earlier in the month. Logan Gilbert will start for Seattle. The first pitch at 4:40. Just one game in the division. Yesterday it went to extra innings, but the Athletics knocked off the Angels. The final there was 3-2. Light schedule in Major League Baseball. If you like soccer, and I mean really like soccer, you want to be at Lee Boftel Field at the Apple Bowl this afternoon. 4 games in the State 1A boys soccer tournament. Cascade is the #1 overall seed in the state. Go Kodiaks. They'll take on Wahluke at 1 o'clock, and then at 3 o'clock, number 4 seed Kashmir will take on Wapato on the pitch. Number 9 Connell and number 8 Fort Vancouver do battle at 5 o'clock, and then the nightcap at 7 o'clock, number 12 seed Meridian and number 5 Raymond South Bend. In the 4A soccer tournament, go Eastmont. A victory today, and the Wildcats will be in the Final Four for just the 2nd time in school history. That'll be tomorrow on Eastmont's pitch at 1 o'clock in the quarterfinals. Again, if Eastmont wins, they'll be in the Final Four. Go Wildcats. Moses Lake is hoping to take home some hardware. That quest begins tomorrow in Puyallup in the State 4A baseball tournament. The Mavericks will take on number 2 Sumner at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Closer to home at Rec Park in Wenatchee, the State 1A baseball tournament has a doubleheader. It begins with numbers 10 seed Overlake Bear Creek and number 7 seed Zilla. That's at 10 a.m. That'll be followed by the 15 seed Castle Rock and the number 2 seed Kashmir Bulldogs at 1 o'clock. The winners of those 2 games will play each other at about 3:30 to move on in state. In the 2B baseball tournament, number 15 Okanagan will take on Kittitas tomorrow at 10 a.m. and number 6 Liberty Bell will take on number 11. Oops, I forgot the team. Liberty Bell will host a game tomorrow. I want a 3-day weekend. Let's move on to softball for Chelan. The Lady Goats, their season came to an end yesterday in the State 1A fast pitch softball tournament down in Yakima. Seattle Christian shut them out 10-0, but a good year for the Kodiaks. And they only graduate, for the Bears, and they only graduate 2 seniors. They'll be good next year. In the 4A softball tournament, it begins today for the Eastmont Wildcats. It's in Richland against the Bombers. First pitch for the Lady Wildcats at 11 a.m. Go Eastmont. And finally, the 2B softball tournament begins today in Yakima. The 15 seed Brewster Bears will take on number 2 seed Toledo at 9 a.m. and the 14 seed Lake Roosevelt will take on the 3rd seed Adna at 9 a.m. as well. 9 a.m. today in Yakima. That's awfully early to play softball. I don't care who you are, but it sounds early to me. Go all the local teams. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. It's World Goth Day, it's National Vanilla Pudding Day, National Solitaire Day, National Craft Distillery Day. We're not doing any of those. Today is National Maritime Day because it's a significant event in maritime history. That is the American steamship, the Savannah, who on this date from Savannah, Georgia, left port May 22nd, 1819 to become the first ship to cross the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean or any ocean, using steam power. This is in 1819. Now, the Savannah was actually a sailing ship that they retrofitted to make it a steamship. So they had to put a ginormous engine in the bows of the ship, plus all the coal to feed the engine. So they had no passengers and no cargo. I'm no expert in the world of maritime, business practices, but my understanding is they use ships to cross oceans to carry, goods and people. The Savannah had no goods and no people, just a big engine, coal, and the sails. So they didn't actually go on steam. They ended up sailing over using the sails, but still, it's nice. About 90% of all the goods transported on this planet, 90% of all the goods transported in this planet is transported by ship. There is an organization called the International Maritime Organization. They are in charge of shipping safety, environmental stuff, and shipping lanes. You're supposed to stay in your lane, even though it's an ocean. Ocean freight is cheap. It costs about 1 cent, 1 penny to ship a can of soda on a big ship. That's it. Phrases with nautical origins. You've heard all of these before. They all come from the world of maritime and nautical thinking and nomenclature. Feeling blue, pipe down, toe the line, long shot is a nautical term, taken aback, aloof, hunky-dory, and of course, spinning a yarn. All maritime phrases. It is National Maritime Day today, celebrated with a sailor you love. It's 22 minutes after the hour. Chuck Sumner of Massachusetts, about 3 days before this event, went on the floor of the United States Senate and just badmouthed pretty much the entire South. He badmouthed slavery. He insulted the South for owning people. You can't own people. Again, Charles Sumner was a senator from Massachusetts where they didn't have any slavery. In South Carolina, slavery was a way of life, and this did not go over very well with Preston Brooks of South Carolina, who 3 days after his infamous speech by Charles Sumner goes onto the floor of the United States Senate and beats the living crap out of Charles Sumner with his cane. I mean, beat him almost to death. He was out of action for 3 years, Sumner was. Needless to say, they don't let you do that anymore on the floor of the Senate. Most people just sat there and watched it happen. The Southern senators cheered him on, and the Northern senators were too scared to do anything about it. Needless to say, this opened up a little bit of a conflict between the North and the South. Sumner did not return to the Senate for 3 years. He had to go back to Boston to recuperate in the hospital. And because of that, the senators in the South ridiculed him for not working because their senator from South Carolina almost beat him to death. Now they don't let you have canes anymore on the floor of the Senate. They have wiffle canes. So in case another senator wants to beat the other senator up, it's just a wiffle cane. Can't really do anything. 120 years ago today, Orville and Wilbur Wright were granted a patent, a United States patent, patent number 821,393 for their flying machine. That's what they called it. This was on this date in 1906, 120 years ago. The flying machine. We should go back to that. We're not going to take the airplane to Acapulco for vacation. We're taking the flying machine. It would add the romance, I think, back to air travel, wouldn't you? That's just me. And 66 years ago today, the strongest earthquake ever recorded with modern scientific equipment. This is 1960. They pretty much knew how to measure the strength and intensity of an earthquake. The Great Chilean Earthquake strikes central Chile. 9.5 on the Richter scale. It lasted 10 minutes. I've been in earthquakes before. Some were just, 30 seconds or so, some a little bit longer, but nothing strong. But a 9.5 earthquake lasting 10 minutes. Are you kidding me? How many people died? Nobody knows, except in Hilo, Hawaii, which is, of course, an exposed beach. 61 people in Hilo, Hawaii died from the tsunami that went rather rapidly across the Pacific Ocean. The tsunami ended up running into Japan, North Korea, Singapore, Australia. 9.5. 10 minutes. No, thank you. That was on this date in 1960. Yeah. Freaks me out. We don't live in earthquake country, by the way. Heavenly birthday. He was considered the actor's actor. Everybody respected this guy, Sir Laurence Olivier. Born this date in 1907. Spencer Tracy said he was the best. Humphrey Bogart said he was the best. Lauren Bacall said he was the best. Everybody said he was the best. He only won one Academy Award. He was nominated for a bunch of them. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Hamlet back in 1948. The largest theater in all of Great Britain is named for Laurence Olivier, born this date in 1907, and considered by many the best male tennis player of all time. Statistically speaking, he is. It's not even close. Novak Djokovic from Serbia is 39 years old. He was number one for 428 weeks over 13 different years. He was the end of the year number one male tennis player a record 8 times. 24 Grand Slam men's singles titles, by far more than anybody else. 10, he won the Australian Open 10 times. He won the Wimbledon Championship 7 times, 4 U.S. Opens, 3 French Opens. All of his contemporaries agree that Novak Djokovic is the best there ever was, the GOAT. He is 39 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. If you're going to have a platinum sponsor, you might as well have a platinum company doing it. That kind of worked out. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. Our news director, Rick Boone, had a chance to sit down with the Insurance Commissioner of the state, Patty Kuderer, who was in town, to talk about how to get your home insured, even if you live in a wildfire-prone area. And also my conversation with Jeremy Andrews of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval as they're gearing up for the biggest weekend they have ever had with a NASCAR legend coming to town. Those two conversations are on their way. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
This is Mike, Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, here's a poser for you. So Donald Trump runs against Hillary in 2016 and he wins. Now, evidently, that election was fair and there have been no voting shenanigans. But when Trump loses in 2020, suddenly the methods and other voting skullduggery was so egregious that the big lie that the election had been stolen from Trump was not only spouted but incredibly believed by 60% of those in this country who identify as evangelical Christians. But then Trump wins in 2024 and suddenly the election process is honest and free from any malfeasance. Well, isn't that amazing? So what's the question? Did some sort of miracle occur? Or is our bully-in-chief just spouting lies his supporters are fully willing to support even in the face of reality? Well, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
Have a great honor to speak with Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer here with us in Wenatchee. Welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
You're in town. This is part of a statewide tour you got going on to make sure people know about their insurance rights and how you're fighting for us. So let's get right to it. What's the biggest topic that people need to know from the Insurance Commissioner?
Well, they need to know that wildfire risk is real and that urban wildfires are no longer a thing of the past, and that we have to be thinking more proactively on how we can mitigate that risk for urban areas as well as rural areas.
Now, also in your office, there's a division that is fighting for people if they can't get their claims paid or they're having problems with their insurer or something like that. Let's get right down to that. So if a disaster happens to your property or something you own, whether it's a fire, we got fire season coming up, how much are you fighting for people to make sure they can get those claims paid as quickly as possible? And are there any claims from the previous fire season that are still kind of working themselves out?
Well, I can tell you, I can give you a more recent example, which would be the floods from December. We went out to 33 different disaster assistance centers and town halls in 55 days to help people with their claims and to help people with FEMA resources and things like that. And the main thing is that we are a consumer protection agency. That's what the Office of the Insurance Commissioner is. We have a consumer advocacy program that is designed to help people navigate these claims processes. And we want people to call if they have any problems with their insurance company at all. We want to hear about it. We will do what we can to help. We can't, tell a company to pay a certain amount if there's a dispute on that amount. But we can make sure that the companies are following the law and following their contracts and keeping their promises to the insureds.
You talked about FEMA just a few moments ago, and how is that going, that relationship with the state and FEMA? Are they delivering enough funds to be distributed to people that need it the most right now?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that since the new administration got in 2025, that FEMA has effectively been gutted. And what that means is that states and local governments are going to have to pick up more of the financial burden when a disaster occurs. But it also gives us an opportunity. We're going to have to invest on the front end, I think, in terms of mitigation. FEMA also had a grant program that's been cut. And Washington was the 5th largest user of that grant program, which we used those funds to invest in mitigation efforts and strengthening our infrastructure against things like flood and wildfire.
Let's break that down. Mitigation is something we actually talked about when I ran into you at the state capitol a few months ago, and you said there was a process in place for mitigation, which kind of like, if I'm correct, please correct me if I'm not, where it sets up a border wall so the fire doesn't go too far into destruction of homes. Is that basically what it is?
Well, it's a lot more than that. That could be a piece of it, but really what we're talking about is creating a mitigation grant program that will help homeowners and communities fortify their homes against the risk of wildfire. Now, I was in Lahaina and I was also in Pacific Palisades, and there were homeowners that had invested in fire mitigation. And their homes were still standing, but everybody else's was burned down. And so it's not just enough to do a single home here or a single home there. It's really important for us to be looking at hardening whole communities against this issue.
Legislation on the docket right now, the session just ended recently. Did you get everything that you were wanting for the taxpayers and the residents here in Washington State for our protections for insurance? Or does something go over to the next legislative session to make sure we can get what we deserve?
Yeah, well, thanks for that question. And the answer is we didn't get everything we wanted this year. It got out of the Senate with strong bipartisan support, 2 bills, one dealing with making sure insureds have access to their wildfire risk score, and the second bill to create a wildfire grant mitigation program. Those did not make it out of the House, but they will be coming back next year, and we are hopeful that they will pass next year.
What new things other than that you're looking at moving forward for the Insurance Commissioner's office that are going to be benefits for us, protecting our insurance needs? I mean, insurance is not only protection of fire and disaster, we're talking health and everything else. It's insurance across the board, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do everything except worker comp. That's the only thing we don't do. We even do pet insurance. So it's a wide array. It's lots of lines of insurance. But the main thing right now that we're focused on is the risk of natural disasters. So we do want to get out into communities. We created a program called Community Connect, where we go around and chat with folks about their insurance, about their, the level of their insurance, what it covers, what it doesn't cover, help them understand how to read an insurance contract, and actually give them, useful tips on how to prepare for a flood or a wildfire risk. We created a toolkit that we were passing out. I was just at Deer Park at the Wildfire and Forestry Safety Fair. And we gave out lots of those helpful kits there that people took, and had a really wonderful Q&A session with the community there about insurance claims and insurance needs. And again, I want people to think of us first whenever they have an insurance question.
That's great. What's the biggest question you seem to get all the time whenever you talk to communities? Is there one particular one that comes up over and over again that you're answering, or are there several ones that seem to be the most popular ones?
Well, that's a really good question. I would say that one of the things that we hear a lot of is, why was I canceled? And what we're seeing is that people are being canceled or non-renewed now more so than ever for wildfire risk. And they don't necessarily know that because A, they weren't given their wildfire risk score in the first place. And secondly, they don't necessarily appreciate that they might be in a wildfire risk zone. Yeah. The good news is that we do have the FAIR Plan in Washington State, which is the state insurer of last resort. And we are seeing more policies being issued under the FAIR Plan. And for the reason more people are going on it now is because of wildfire risk. Mm-hmm. But the good news for homeowners, I mean, that's there for them. It is funded by insurance companies, and it's there for the reason that people need it in order to satisfy their mortgage, so they will have insurance. The good news is also that we still have a fairly strong market, and so they're able to get off of the FAIR Plan within 60, 90 days and find alternate coverage, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What happens if you're in a fire zone and the fire is happening, especially here in the Wenatchee Valley? I guess there's no state plan, like a affordable plan that you can get to just give you some type of coverage.
And that's the FAIR Plan.
That's it.
Yep, they could go on the FAIR Plan, but like I said, the insurance companies, they don't all use the same fire risk maps, mm-hmm. which is a good thing because you might be with a company for a long time and they may cancel you because they feel that you are, a fire risk. Another company may view that differently and pick you up. So, we still have, like I said, a fairly healthy insurance market, and we want to keep it that way. And that's why we want to do the Strengthen Washington Homes program, which will help increase insurability for folks around the state.
You were elected to your position independently from any other position in state government, from the governor and everything else. But are you working with other leaders in the state, like the governor, to ensure that our insurance needs are taken care of? Or is it you all by yourself, not just you, but your whole department just taking care of those needs?
We do work collaboratively with other heads of agencies. Most importantly, I would say we work with the head of DNR because they have their own wildfire program that deals with the rural areas. We deal with the urban area. That's because we're trying to maintain insurability of homes. And so those two programs would work collaboratively together once we get ours up and running. And we're already laying the foundation for it. We're getting we've designated an individual who's going to lead that program. We are starting with, getting the software set up and laying the foundation so that when the bill does finally pass, we're ready to go.
Before we wrap it up, what's the one thing you want people in the Wenatchee Valley to know that they can depend on from their Department of Insurance that can be there for them when they need it the most, and they won't get turned around, they won't get a busy signal when they call? What can you guarantee them that they'll have as that coverage or that safety net for them?
Well, if there is a disaster, we will be on site. We have mobile teams that go out into community to help with processing insurance claims. We also have a live person that answers the phone. They won't get a busy signal. We are very consumer focused. Like I said, we're a consumer protection agency, and we take that very seriously. So they can call us when they have an insurance issue, and we'll do what we can to help.
Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time here in the Wenatchee Valley, and good to have you back.
Thank you.
You got it.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units. Welcome back to the program. Jeremy Andrews is with me once again to talk about something we've been talking about. Well, this announcement of Kevin Harvick coming to the WVSO on the 29th and the 30th. You made that back in, I want to say it was February. Blew up the internet. The internet died. It crashed and burned. Your website crashed. Your Facebook page crashed. Kevin frickin' Harvick is coming to the big city.
Yeah, so we're excited about the Wenatchee 200, May 30th. $25,000 a win, $2,000 to start. Some of the biggest names on the West Coast. But on top of that, you have Kevin Harvick coming. NASCAR Cup Series champion, Daytona 500 winner, one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time. Most famously, Kevin's known for is, he is the driver that stepped in after Dale Earnhardt died. He was the one that the next week that took over that ride. And then that race, I think it was 3 races later when he won in Atlanta, probably one of those emotional victories that we've ever seen happen in NASCAR. I've got to know Kevin quite a bit over the last year and a half. He loves short track racing, loves to be a part of short track racing, loves the West Coast short track racing. He's from Bakersfield, California, grew up racing on the West Coast, grew up racing against Garrett Evans when he was a young teenager. And so it's really cool to see him come back here, come to Wenatchee for the first time ever.
How did you swing this? I don't think I've ever asked you this. How did you get this?
Kevin wants to see short track racing on the West Coast really improve and really step up. And the West Coast is, sometimes people don't give it the notoriety it needs to. We have some really talented drivers up here, and he knows on the West Coast what we have. And so Kevin's invested both financially and his time into making this a big thing out here. So he started up the Cars Tour West Series with Tim Huddleston out of California, and they started the series. And so the idea was to get this series a sanctioning body on the West Coast where you can go the Southwest, Northwest, and then eventually the East Coast, and you can just travel back and forth, have the same car. And so this started about, I'd say almost actually 2 years ago when we started working on this, and it's come together. And so Kevin had kind of circled a couple races he wanted to come do in the Northwest, and the Wenatchee 200 was one of them. And so we're excited to have him here. We've had some big names over the last couple of years come race the Wenatchee 200. We have even some other big names coming to race this weekend here as well. And we're expecting a huge field of cars, but Kevin wants to race against the best competition, and he knows how tough it is here. He came and raced last year at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, and he was like, wow, the Northwest is really tough. And so he knows how good the drivers are up here, and so it's been a lot of fun to see.
He's won, I did a little research, he's won on almost every surface with almost every type of automobile you can think of. He's won them all. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and he's retired from NASCAR now, right? But he's still heavily involved in the sport. He he is one of the main broadcasters every Sunday on Fox for NASCAR. He's got one of the best podcasts I think they're out there with on Fox with his Download, and then you have he races pretty often, as much as he can when he can. But then he also has a company that helps manage other racers and helps with his agency of KHI. So he's a really busy guy, but he loves short track racing and wants to get back to it. His son's really involved in short track racing, and so it's really cool to see him come here and show up. And I think NASCAR fans are really excited. I mean, I'm seeing some people who I know in the community who don't come to the track on a regular basis, but I know they're NASCAR fans and they're buying tickets. And people who I hear from every once in a while on social media, but then when I said he was coming, all of a sudden, my inbox started clicking up with people who I haven't heard from for a while. Hey, is this really happening? I'm like, yeah. Well, I'm coming to the race now, and stuff like that. Or I have a family member who I haven't heard from for a while that said, hey, is he coming? I'm like, yeah. So, and everybody wanted free tickets, but they didn't get free tickets.
Logistically, how are you going to pull this off? I mean, this could very well be the biggest crowd ever at the WVSO. You're bringing in extra bleachers, extra help for food and beer and everything. How are you going to pull this whole thing off?
We have extra bleachers. We have extra people doing parking. We have we're doing a VIP experience. We have 3 or 4 extra food vendors right now, extra beer garden. We're coming prepared for it. So we had some big crowds last year, though. Our monster truck show was crazy, a lot, and our Wenatchee 200 has been big every year the last 3 or 4 years. So we've been prepared for it. We saw really an uptick about 4 years ago with the Wenatchee 200. Then we're starting to see some pretty big crowds. I know that. I mean, our month of June we have the Wenatchee 200 starting off, and then we have 2 weeks later Eva Destruction. And it wouldn't surprise me if Eva Destruction night is as crazy as Wenatchee 200. So we're ready for it, and our staff is ready for it. The track is going to be ready for it. The drivers are ready for it. The fans are ready for it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's a whole entire week activity. We have a private practice that happens on Wednesday that just drivers and teams come to. You can't come watch, whatever. Thursday night, we have a dinner. There's very limited tickets left. There's still a handful of tickets left, and you can actually come to dinner. It's a Kevin Harvick Victory Lane dinner. So you could come, and it's a very private, intimate night at the Highlander Golf Course.
Okay, good for that. Good
6
food
o'clock
then.
on Thursday, May 20th.
Guaranteed good food.
Good food and amazing scenery in the backdrop, whatever. And you get a, Kevin's going to speak for about an hour and a half, just kind of tell some great stories. And I've heard Kevin talk, and he's got some amazing stories that you have not heard before, trust me. And then you're going to meet and greet, get some gifts, things like that with Kevin, which is if you're a NASCAR fan, this is a really cool night to come to. And then Friday is the practice. We have the practice, which last year, I bet you there was probably 300, 400 people in the grandstands just watching practice on Friday, because it's such an intense race, right? You have big names there. And then Friday night, we all the drivers and race teams head down to Side Chick in Clearwater, downtown East Wenatchee, and we have a big qualifying draw. And the qualifying draw is important. Where you qualify at this race is really important. You want to be starting up front, and then Saturday is a race day. So like I said, it's multiple days. It's 4 days of just action. It all happens. We do all of our activities in the city of East Wenatchee, which is really cool. And it's big thanks to the city of East Wenatchee, because they step up and support us with a tourism grant with this, and we thank them for their support. Plum Perfect, who has been on board since the beginning, we give away the Matt Brugman Memorial Trophy to honor Matt, who. Sorry.
No, I get it.
We could not have started this race without Matt.
Yeah.
And we lost him a couple of years ago, and so that was a great thing of carrying
You
on.
always remember every year Neil Newberry, and you always remember Matt. That's the way you do it.
Matt's a special guy. So when we started that race last year, sorry, wow. And it's a great thing to remember him. He's a great guy. When I started this race, he was the first guy I called to sponsor it, and he stepped up. And so it's just amazing to see when we had the conversation to see 4 years later where we're at. So it's pretty cool to see. And then Gisa Credit Union stepped up this year. And Gisa has been an amazing partner as well. And so now we have some great partners with it. Hoosier Tire West, a lot of great people. And then the Cars Tour West, with the Spears Cars Tour West coming on board. So it's a multi-partner, multi-group to put this on together. So we're excited about it.
If you're planning on going either the 29th, which again is just racing, but it's going to be a lot of people.
Practice, yeah.
Practice, and that's Friday the 29th, or the race itself 30th. Carpool, people, get together with all of your other friends who bought tickets and carpool. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, we're expecting probably one of the biggest crowds. We have probably 50 to 60 motorhomes and campers up there, so they take up some of the parking area. We'll be parking from the whole entire parking lot, every square inch of that thing I can get in there, all the way probably down the road. And last year they probably ended up on Fancher Field Road, and I mean, who knows, we might end up on Badger Mountain Road, and the sheriff's office coming knocking on my door. So
legit. Wow, let's just tell them you know me. Then they'll definitely arrest you. Logistically, how does one do 200 laps? It doesn't. I mean, it's a different kind. When on a short track, it doesn't seem like it's a lot.
So for this race, they get 6 tires for the race. So they'll qualify at a set of tires, and they'll race that tire. And then we're going to break at lap 125, I believe it is. At lap 125, they get 2 fresh tires, right? So 2 of those tires are going to be on there for 200 plus laps. So that creates some kind of interesting, do you save your tires? Do you want to be up towards the front, whatever? And then you get fuel. You get about a 10-minute break there, and so you can make adjustments on it. You get to add some fuel to the car. But there's a strategy. Some guys want to be up front and lead and control the pace, and some guys want to just sit back and save their tires. The biggest thing is you can't win the race on lap 1, you can't win the race on lap 100, you can only win the race on lap 200. So you got to have a car at the end to go for it. We've had some of these 200 lap races which have a lot of attrition, and you might finish 10 or 11 cars. And we've had ones, I think it was last year, where we finished 19 of the 25 cars that started the race. So it's a lot of race, and 200 laps is a long time for any driver. I'm thinking, somebody's like, I can do 200 laps. You do 200 laps at 12 seconds a lap with the G's pulling on your body in those corners. You're not letting off. It gets hot in there. Depends on the weather too. It is a lot thing. And maybe even, there's a famous commentator that came out a couple weeks ago by the name of Stephen A. Smith, who said that NASCAR drivers are not athletes. I would guarantee if Stephen A. Smith could not handle more than 15 laps in a race car at any big short track.
I did the celebrity racing thing 20 years ago when we got to race the big cars, the big powerful ones. Yeah, that was a good one, Jeremy. And it was somebody else's car. I didn't want to wreck it. Yeah. This is somebody who spent a lot of money on this thing. Brent Rhodes won it every year because he didn't care. He just, let's go, And he's like, yeah. And I was exhausted. And all we did was drive around at 10 miles an hour.
We should bring that back now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I'm no longer a celebrity.
Yeah, true. But we could give you like a handicap pass for the front, so because front row parking, yeah.
No, we should do it. Bring back the celebrity races, only we get to race our own cars. You know, that would be that kind of deal.
There's that great video that happened like a couple weeks ago at Colorado National on the Cars Tour. Wes was there, and some of these tracks do this, and our insurance company said no to it, so we don't do it. But some of the guy took his wife's Suburban out and raced it, wrecked it, destroyed it. Look it up on Facebook or YouTube. It was bad. So maybe they can find the clip and put it on here. It's pretty funny.
We got to cut Jeremy loose. He's got puppies and a family to get to, but one quick little note. We are endeavoring to do a Zoom call with Kevin Harvick, and hopefully we'll get that sometime in the next few days, get that locked down. It would be really great for you and I here in the studio and Kevin to talk about him coming to town.
That's our hope.
Yeah, that'd be good. Jim Andrews, everybody. Jeremy Andrews, I'm sorry.
BJ Kuntz?
Yeah, BJ Kuntz, athletic director of Wenatchee High School. You're good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Never much liked you. You watch you wake up in Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
All right, we got to close out the show with a number of little notes. First of all, my live read for pool to spa services. Still don't have this thing memorized yet. I just keep forgetting to memorize it. I apologize for that. Upgrade relaxation with the Bullfrog Spa featuring the exclusive Jetpack therapy system. It's personalized comfort in every seat, and who doesn't want that? Visit Pool to Spa Services in Wenatchee and have a spa designed just for your cute little tushy. And it is back for the 22nd year in a row, I want to say. They missed a COVID year. I don't think they did one. The Wenatchee River Bluegrass Festival returns to the Chelan County Expo Center on the campus of the Chelan County Fairgrounds the 19th, the 20th, and 21st of June. And they brought in some pretty heavy hitters. This is some top flight bluegrass talent. They brought in Appalachian Roadshow. They have been here before. Vicki Vaughn has been here. The Rick Ferris Band will be here. Southern Legacy. There'll be entertainment on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There'll be the gospel show. Taylor's Camp will be back, so you can, if you have a kid who might be interested in learning how to play a stringed instrument, doesn't matter what it is, guitar, banjo, mandolin, violin, whatever, they'll have people teaching them along the way and instruments that you can try out. That's a pretty cool deal. That's Taylor's Camp, and I'll be interviewing Chuck Egner and the crew as we get closer. But just remember the date, circle it, and put it on your Google Calendar, all right? The 19th, 20th, and 21st for that. Real quickly, we will not be here on Monday. We're going to have special programming on Monday. No Wake Up at Wenatchee Valley Monday for Memorial Day, and no news on Monday for Memorial Day, so we can all enjoy a 3-day weekend. Our own Rick Boone and Pete O'Kane went down to the Veterans Hall on North Wenatchee Avenue and interviewed some local veterans. And we'll have that for you on Memorial Day a couple of times throughout the course of the day, so don't miss that special programming for Memorial Day. As far as the weather is concerned, first things first, it's going to be a little windy on Saturday. A little worried about fire concerns, not just the wind, but the temperatures will be above normal and relative humidity pretty darn down there. This is mostly Saturday afternoon and Saturday night for the Wenatchee Valley. Some locations, if you're going to be out and about enjoying Memorial Day weekend, you're going to have a little bit more wind, but they want people to remember it doesn't take a long time for a fire to get going to really take off. So use a little common sense and we'll be good to go. From the National Weather Service, sunshine today, a high of about 81 degrees, 57 for the overnight low tonight, 83 on Saturday. Sunshine pretty much right through the weekend. Again, it's going to be windy, though, on Saturday and Saturday night. No real wind on Sunday, slightly cooler. A lot of things start to change, however, on Monday, especially Sunday night into Monday. By that time, a low-pressure ridge from British Columbia is going to come in. It's going to cool us down quite a bit. And we could even see some much-needed rain on Memorial Day proper. That's it for us. Be good, be safe, and we'll see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.